Hello, everyone. It is Lee Love, and I am back again for yet another very brief level up mind snack. And so, excuse me, I'm just adjusting this. You might notice the different background. I moved my camera around from my comfortable seated area to my vision board behind me because I was doing a few videos and I haven't had a chance to switch it around. So I was doing some videos on my Facebook page as well as in the Level Up Charm School private support group. And but I was kind of liking the difference in the background, so I think I'll go with it. So again, if you're new to my channel, my name is Leah Love, and I am a lifestyle and attraction coach, and I spend time with women specifically in working out the areas of your lives where you feel like you need a little boost and you need a little help in completely transforming your life. And I've also been sharing quite a bit about my own transformations and the things that have worked for me recently in my life over the past year to 2 years, that I have really gone through major transformation on my own and really experienced some blessed events in my life. And so we tend to share in our group. It's the Level Up Charm School group, and it's a support group for women who are seeking a supportive environment with very positive minded fellow women who are also seeking to level up their life experiences. And so in keeping with that, I tend to post a lot of ideas that could be very helpful to women who are attempting to create a completely new life, transform their life, and receive much better results. And one of the things that I like to call myself is a curator. And what I mean by curator is that because I'm so focused and excited about the transformation that I do in my own life on a day-to-day basis, I tend to study a lot. I tend to get coaching a lot on my own. I tend to look for mentors. And every time I reach a new mentor, I like to share what I've learned, because I understand that not everybody has the time that I have. And so there are times when you can't do it all. So with that being said, and I apologize for the noise, my space heater just came on. But with that being said, I want to share something that I came across. Hi, Michaela, how are you? I want to share something that I came across that was like profound for me. And that was the idea that high performers are actually quitters. And it sounds like an oxymoron, but, and I'm just going to pull up my notes here because I was listening and I was reflecting on my own life and the ways in which I naturally behave, my own habits, and how does that correlate with this idea that high performers are actually quitters. And so this was a talk by Brendan Bouchard, who was talking about high performers and the habits of high performers. And he happened to mention in the middle of that talk that high performers are quitters. And so I want to just go through very briefly some of the points that he was making about how to utilize that idea to achieve further success in your own personal goals in your life. And one of the things he said was very key to most high performers is that they learn to quit the wrong thing now. So in other words, they are very much in tune with their own inner being, with their own inner GPS system. They pay attention to how they feel. And then if they feel that the activities that they're involved in, the journey that they wanted to take is not working out for them, that it doesn't feel right, something feels off, that they learn to stop it rather than spend years and years trying to perfect something that actually is not for them. So in other words, what that really meant, which is something that he didn't say, but that relates to my own life, is that intuition is key. And especially for us women, we have to understand that our intuition is our greatest tool for our advancement, is our intuition. So if you are doing something, that's not to say that you barely learned how to do whatever act or whatever train of thought or activity that you're involved in. It's not to say that, okay, well, you spent like 2 minutes on it and you didn't understand it and didn't feel good, so you quit it. That's not what we're saying here. What it means is that after careful study, after investment of time, energy, and whatever tools were necessary to go down that road, if after doing all of that and trying it and working it and getting advice on it, getting help from those who are successful with that, and if after exhausting a preliminary list of assets or points that would be helpful to you to be successful in that, if after doing all of that you still find that you've just not been able to master it, that it doesn't feel right, your energy is off place, you're not aligned with it as you thought you might have been because it sounded like a good idea, if after all of that, rather than spending the next 5 years forcing yourself or beating your head against the wall, you have to understand that your time and your energy and your potential is limitless. But it's also finite in the sense that during this lifetime, you only have a certain amount of years and you only have a certain number of experiences that you want to experience during those years. So cut it short and move on. So I like that he said that high performers understand that they have to quit now rather than waiting and prolonging a long and slow death in terms of the way in which you have been unsuccessful in that particular strain, because you're also keeping yourself away from the activity that is actually for you. And so I thought that was really, really, really important. And so in understanding that first premise, what he said was that it's very important, first of all, as I mentioned in terms of your intuition, to be very in tune with yourself, to be able to internally monitor your internal GPS system that is guiding you to the things that feel the best for you, that work the best for you, that you're in your flow, that you have your passion, that you feel good about when you're doing, that you can make a difference, that you can enlighten other people and get other people impassioned about the subject matter that you're speaking about. So when you're in that flow, you're aware of that. You're aware of how it feels. You're aware of the results. You're aware of the energy that you're receiving back from others. When you're not in that flow, you're also aware of your energy levels. You're aware that something is off. Your energy is not right. People aren't feeling it when you're discussing it with them. So all of that is very important. So they're very much in tuned and they're very much very clear on understanding the ways in which they best perform, the ways in which they best operate. So self-knowledge is absolutely critical to your success. And then another thing that was really, really important, aside from maintaining a consciousness about the way in which you operate at your most peak optimal levels, another thing was releasing the dogma of perseverance. So in America or many other cultures, there's this idea that you just have to work hard, tirelessly and endlessly in order to receive the results that you're looking for. That it's only a matter of, it's not about when you will achieve it. It's about how long did you work hard at it? How long did you persevere to meet those goals? But a thing about high performers that I've seen with my mentors, with the people in my life who are actually very, very successful, who have thriving businesses, these are people who have let go of the little quotes and the quaint theories for life that we've been taught in school, that we are taught by family. These are people who are very free-minded. They're able to go beyond the scope that the rank and file will live by, the mantras and the slogans. So perseverance is something that's mentioned often, and we want to say, well, quitters are people, they aren't people who persevere, that if you just persevere long enough, you can make it, and it's not about that, especially in an economy that moves so quickly. We're in the age of information. You have a vast amount of opportunities, but if you persevere in the wrong thing, in the wrong route, in the thing that is not working for you, that you've put enough effort into, you've exhausted every avenue to understand. If you have a misunderstanding about what you're doing, you've done everything you can, well, then you should not feel guilt about letting go, because it's only about thinking of it in terms of, this is an experience. This is something that I was able to work through and understand more so than ever before. What are my own traits? What works for me? What doesn't work for me? And it allows you to develop your skill set. So releasing that guilt is huge to being a free-minded entrepreneur or a person who's simply just trying to transform their life. If you feel as if you've got to stick to something and that because you're not receiving results, then that only means that you've just got to go harder and you've got to go longer and you've got to go stronger. Well, sometimes you have to know the difference between this is the right path, but I have quite a bit to learn, or this isn't actually the right path, but because I've been taught to persevere and to just keep going over and above, and wasting time, valuable time, effort, and energy, and keeping the door closed to your real opportunities. Because you're thinking that way, you're not able to move on because of guilt, because of maybe fear that family members will say, hey, whatever happened to this? Well, why didn't you succeed at that? And well, why did you give up so soon? You just got to work harder. Well, why didn't that work out? And so people are tending to worry about other people, their thoughts, their judgments, as opposed to really getting centered and focused in yourself and understanding that this is my journey, and my greatest gift to myself is understanding my own personal inner workings. What works for me? How do I feel when this is happening? How do I feel when that is not happening? Is this a part of my skill set? Is this something that can advance me? Or am I spending energy on this when it could be on further enhancing my own skill sets that I've already determined and that I just maybe need to spend more time with? That maybe, I felt like I was receiving results, but it wasn't as heavily focused with return results that you would have wanted. So then you flipped and went and did something else. And in that case, perseverance would be important to you. But that's the difference between knowing your path, is because when you don't know yourself, when you've not taken the time to befriend yourself, to understand the ways in which you work, to understand your energies, to understand your talents and your skills, you're going to end up popping from one thing to another, and piling on guilt after guilt after guilt, and guilting yourself into feeling some type of way because you didn't succeed at all of these things. So there are a lot of variables, but the main key to high performers is understanding, is having a level of self-consciousness to understand what is really working for them, what feels good for them, what is their path, what is their passion, and what is their talent. And to me, all of the activities that you're doing when you are going about the business of discovering yourself, when you're going about the business of transforming, each of those activities are in fact a way for you to get to know yourself better. It's a way for you to come to self. It's a way for you to center yourself. It's a way for you to understand the fullness of who you are. Because I tend to say that, we are like a universe within each of us. We hold a universe of wealth and knowledge and abilities and skill sets that it could take many lifetimes for us to discover all of the things that we are capable of and that we can really do. So when I constantly say, whether it's in my group or on my Facebook page or here on YouTube, that the world is a playground, your sense of imagination, your sense of creativity, the things that you are able to produce by simply being aware and being present and having the courage to go for it, it is vast and it's phenomenal. And the doors of the universe are open to your opportunities if you only believe that you have a right to them. If you believe that you have a right to explore your life, if you have a belief that you have a right to do this and do that and explore and have fun and enjoy different things until you find the thing that is most profitable for you, if it's from a business perspective, or most enjoyable for you, or most, passion driven. Those are the things that you have to give yourself permission to explore life. If you say to yourself, well, I would love to do this, but everybody will say, why would you waste your time when you've got this great job, when you've got this and you've got that, and you've got family and kids you got to take care of and whatnot. And I completely understand your need to cover your bases. I understand that. But at the same time, if you live your life never exploring beyond your comfort zone, beyond your boundaries, you may miss out on some really wonderful experiences that you can create for yourself. So as you are doing that, feel free to get to the next level where now you've freed yourself from the confines of not wanting to explore, not wanting to go beyond your comfort zone, not wanting to do the things that your closest family and friends may disagree with as you are trying to find your next greatest level to yourself. But as you're doing that, you've got to get to the next level where now you say, well, I went and tried this, but it didn't work out for me. And not guilt yourself and then not allow others to guilt you. Well, I thought you were going to, this was the greatest thing. And, why didn't you do well? Or why didn't why didn't that work out for you? Well, you've got to get to a point where not only do you have the courage first to explore your life and try out things, study, analyze, and then try things, go for it. But not only that, but then get to your next level to understand that not everything that you go for is for you. Typically, those who are great at something, they are great at one thing, or they're great at two things, and they run that until the wheels fall off. They're not necessarily going to expend energy on being great at 10 things, but they had to go through 10 things in order to get to that one or two thing that they are phenomenal at. And if they had had that mindset that, oh, I can't quit this second thing I'm doing, or, oh, I can't stop this. It doesn't look like it's working out. It doesn't look like it's for me, but I got to go because, people will talk about me that, here you go again. One more idea, one more, harebrained scheme. I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing too much, as we like to say. So being able to accept that you have the right to explore, you have the right to start something, and you have the right to stop something. You have the right to quit it if you feel that after exhausting every avenue of making it work for you and it doesn't feel right, it doesn't sit right, your energy isn't good, feel especially free to let it go and move on to the next thing. Because no matter what, you learn something about yourself. And that's what's most important in this journey is learning about you, learning about your own universe, your own capabilities, how important you are to you, as well as to those around you. Because when you are pursuing your passions, you're being your best self. You're enlivened, you're happy, you're excited, you're energetic. And that's a contagious feeling. So why wouldn't people who really care about you want to be around you when you're at your best? And when you're at your best, it's something that you're passionate about. But to maintain that passion and not dive into depression, be ready to quit it after you've done your fair share of attempting to do everything you can to get it right. Feel free to quit it, because the goal is to keep yourself impassioned and not feel depressed or feel let down by yourself. You are here to find your passions, not to be so hard on yourself if one of the passions that you have doesn't seem to be something that would produce the best results that you're looking for. So I just wanted to share that because that was mind-blowing for me, because I continuously get an idea, get it excited. I'm passionate about it. I'm studying books. I'm reading. I'm talking to people who are experts in the thing. I'm doing all of that. I'm excited. And then I feel like I love it. I love the concept, but it's just not for me. And I am so quick to say, okay, well, I've exhausted what I could, what I knew to do about it, got help, did what I could, but now let me move on to something else. And by then, generally speaking, something else has caught my passion, something else. And now finally, after several of those incidences in my life, I've been able to find my passion. I've been able to find what works for me. And even within that, I'm still adjusting it. I'm still like, oh, well, there's this different angle to it that I really need to explore. That's really, really exciting. And it feels good to learn about it. It feels good to indulge myself in the feeling of feeling good as I'm learning about it. I'm passionate about it. It's a great subject. And I can actually tweak what I'm doing to include this. So now the energy has changed. It's no longer what I started with that was really working well for me. It's transformed. It's changed. It's enhanced. It's even better because I stayed open to constantly being open to trying new things and taking a new direction if the one that I have is not as fulfilling and as exciting and as rewarding as the one that's just now been presented to me. And so being easy on myself, not judging myself, not to say that I'm flitting from thing to thing to thing. I'm very conscious and very intentional about the choices that I make. about the career or the business opportunities that I take. I'm very conscious about it. And it's almost like building blocks. One connects to the next, to the next. And as I continue to go on this route, I keep opening myself up to new opportunities that feel good. Some of them don't work out, but I learned so much about that subject matter and about myself by following that. And so I just wanted to share that with you all. And I hope, you guys are experiencing a level of bliss and joy in your life, being open, being happy, and feeling like it's limitless opportunities out there for you, because there really and truly are. Our only limitations are our own minds. So again, this is Leah Love. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you've not yet subscribed, I would love it. But if not, I appreciate your stopping by. And so I'm going to be continuing to do my Level Up Mind Snacks, just little short snippets here and there that on ideas and concepts that inspire me. I love to share, and that's really what I'm all about, is making sure that I share, because if there's something in here that can help you and completely revolutionize whatever you're going through, then I feel like job well done. So peace and blessings. Have a good day. Bye-bye.